My name is Patricia Houston, and I live in the riding currently held by Carol James. And I'm one of the people that Diana referred to earlier that may have to hold their nose and vote. I just don't know who to vote for on this ballot. They are all a bad bunch as far as I'm concerned. But I always vote, and I will vote, and I'm still confused. And I'm very grateful you have this opportunity to hear both sides, which I think are fair, and I think are fairly presented. I don't think it has anything to do with slot machines. I think it has to do with presenting how this...
Show the character of the character.
Excuse me, may I speak?
Sure.
You could. But my question's for Diana, there are a couple of them. And I have looked at governments that have STV, that whatever you call that, proportional voting. One of them is Ireland and the other is Italy. And I have friends in both countries. And all of them have told me how terrible their governments are. So that's what really concerns me, is show me the good governments under this proportional representation that really work. And the other concern I have, and I'm totally open-minded about this, I'm not coming here with a bias at all. I'm coming here to learn and to make an educated opinion. The other concern I have is the vilification, especially by the NDP in this campaign, of the other parties. And I can't stand this negative campaigning, this everybody else is terrible and we're wonderful. And I received the other day a plaque thing in the mail put out by the NDP which shows a beaming, lovely picture of Carol James on one side and a faded out, terrible looking, angry picture of Gordon Campbell on the other. And I hate that. And so can you assure me that we could put these parties into government in a way where they're all going to be cooperative, respectful of each other, and they're going to not take forever to fight out a decision that's in the best interest of people?
Okay, I'll do my best to answer those questions. First of all, Ireland does use STV, Italy does not. There are a couple of other places where STV is used. The Australian Senate, for example, uses it. Some of the states down in the States use it for their state elections. It's used in small communities for municipal elections in other parts of the world. And more countries are looking into the benefits of STV. There are a variety of other proportional systems that are out there, and they produce minority or coalition governments, and these governments have had to learn to work together. They are learning to work together, and they work well when they learn the process. Our government, if it's formed under STV, our politicians rather, are going to have to go through a learning process of how to work with each other instead of constantly slamming the opposition and, as you say, using dirty tactics, calling them names and just putting them down generally. They're going to have to learn to stop that nonsense and actually work together. Because if they don't, then what they're going to do is they're just going to lose the next time around. Because what happens under STV when you go to the polling station is you make many choices, not just one, not a simple X anymore, but you make multiple choices. And when you make those choices, your first choice might be for party A, but you might like some of the ideas and some of the people that are running in party B, so you might give them maybe not your second choice, but your third or your fourth. And they're going to be aware that those are critical choices that you're going to be making that can increase the likelihood of them getting into the legislature. So it doesn't pay them to slang off the other guy, because you might prefer that other guy first, and if your favourite is being slanged off by the other side, you're not going to give them your second or third preferences. So they're going to have to hold back on that.
I have only been to Ireland once, but I keep a fairly close eye on it for reasons of sort of ancestral curiosity. Ireland, in a sort of international ratings on corruption, way ahead of Canada. A more government corrupt society than Canada. In terms of the United Nations ratings of most livable countries to live in, Ireland, Canada. Ireland has some of the dirtiest politics in the European continent, in the EU. It is, you think here is nasty. And the three parties that finished the top three since the 70s have finished in exact same order. Fianna Gael, Fianna Fáil, and the Labour Party have finished in the exact same order every time. Who governs depends on who Labour decides to get into bed with to make the coalition government. Listen, I'm not opposed to coalition governments, but I don't think you could go to any Irish citizen and say, are your members more beholden and respectful to you? Are your politicians more worried about being voted out? Are they nicer to the other side? Do they cooperate more? It's a street fight in Ireland compared to our politics here.
Okay, I was wondering if the choice between STV or no STVs should be looked at from the point of view of, are we going to alienate young voters, or how are we going to put it more positively, how are we going to encourage younger voters to vote and play a part in the system?
Questions for both candidates?
I do not believe that the current system dictates that the Green Party cannot be elected in British Columbia or in Canada. I think there are reforms that need to be made, and I think there are reforms that need to be made that would encourage more young people and certainly greater party diversity. You know, someone said, well, we've come along, we haven't come that much since, women got the vote, or people with property were the only voters. But in fact, in our lifetimes, we've seen financial disclosure rules, financial limit rules. We've seen the kind of rules that are designed to reduce the impact that money has on politics. I think we should do like the federal system and like Quebec and the NDP government in Manitoba, ban corporate donations and ban union donations. When there isn't a party that can go to a trough like that to have all their resources funded, there's greater opportunity for diversity of parties. It's a more level playing field for more people to get their message out. That is a reform that's crucial now, no matter what system we have. So I think if young people are interested in the Green Party, as I said, the Green Party is not prevented by the first past the post system from getting elected. Jane Sturck started this election, and with one beachhead, you can't say, well, we need STV because then more Greens, a half dozen can be elected, but one's not enough. You have to form a beachhead and you have to do the political work. And I think young people could get excited about a change in leadership, about a more level playing field financially in our current system without embracing those dangers that I say come with STV.
Yeah.
Yes, young people have been turned off by our current system. They don't bother to turn out to vote. They say, why should I? It's not going to change anything. They don't listen to the young people. Young people are excited about this change. We've had many young people contact us. How can we help? How can we talk about this? How can we spread the word about this? They're interested in it. They're excited about it, and they're willing to give it a chance. And I'll tell you right now something I didn't get an opportunity to say earlier because of time constraints, and that is that this is not going to be carved in stone. If STV is brought in, the government of the day can decide at any time to change the system. If it is brought in, we recommend it on the Assembly that it be used for 3 consecutive elections so that we can see how it works, so that we can see where the bugs are and if anything needs any adjustment. If it's not working, then it can be changed. And the government does not have to go to referendum to make that change. They can decide tomorrow on any kind of system they want, if they like, and just present it to you. That's all that they are required to do. They do not have to pass legislation to implement a new system. They can just bring it in.